Hello once again. So today we'll start with tables and we are going to see different types of tables that are used in SolidWorks drafting. So there are multiple types of table being given here. You can see in annotation tab, you can click on this arrow or this option of table may appear here also. Just select the arrow, drop down arrow, and you can see different types of tables are being given. So to start with, we are going to start with general table. So I'll select this option as general table. And here you need to specify number of rows and columns you want there. So these general tables are basically used when you want to make this bill of material manually only without linking the properties of the part. So if you want to make a BOM bill of material by inserting the values and properties without linking the part, then you can go for this regular table or general table. So we'll specify the number of columns here. I'll say it columns number 5 and to rows I want here is 4. I'll say it OK, and now this table will appear here. You can see. So if you want to drag and place this table, you can click on this icon here and you can place this as you want. There is one more option given, that is attached to anchor point. At left side you can see here. So if I select this anchor point option, different orientations will come according to table, but it will take the common anchor point, that is this corner point. So you can place it as you want, say it OK, and now one general table is been placed here. So the need of general table is when you want to make a bill of material that is not linked with the part properties. So I can put up the values here, or else if I want to make a table which is showing the accessories of a particular assembly, at that time also I can use this regular table or general table. So you just need to double click on this cell and you can add the required text you want. Suppose I say SR number, then I'll tap this, double click on this cell here. I'll say name. Next cell I will name it as date and so on. So in this way you can add the text required in these cells and complete the required table. You just need to add the properties in the cell manually only. That's why it is called as general table. Next type of table we are going to see here is revision table. So for adding revision table, first you need to add a shape or symbol here featuring that particular revision we required to make. So I'll select one of the shape here. So I'll select here a rectangular shape or a square shape and then say it OK. We would have selected the circular shape also, but the problem is when you take a balloon option or auto balloon, at that time also the numberings will come in the outer circle shape as circular only. So to differentiate it from other symbols, we are going to take here as a rectangular or square shape. Say it OK. And now you can see here one revision table has been added. It will come by default at the upper right side, and here it will ask you an option. You can see here it will ask you to click and add the revision there. So I'll click on this option and here you can see you can add the revision. First we have to symbolize it at which part or feature you want to make that particular revision. So I'll put up this revision on this circular face here and give the initial as A. Now we need to provide the description of that particular revision. So I'll double click here and add the description here. So in description I am going to write what revision is needed to be added there. So I'll double click and type here on this cell. So the revision is I want to add hardening process on that particular feature. So that feature is to be hardened there. So I'll double click here and type there hardening to be done. So we have put up the description also there. It will also highlight the date here and you can put up the approval of any authorized person you want to put here. You can add his name or initials here. Same way I want to add one more revision. Suppose I want surface finish to be flattened here. So I'll click on this option and add the particular revision for that zone. I'll select this surface here. So here I want the description for that particular revision. I'll say I need surface finish there. So I've added the second revision also here. Now this sheet size is A3 and it is a bigger size. So you need to locate that particular revision. For that one option is given, that is zone option. You can see it is showing C6 for that first revision. So you can locate that revision here by seeing that zone, that is C6. So here you can see this first revision, it is coming in C section by horizontally and vertically it is coming under column 6. So here horizontally the cell column is showing C and vertically it is showing 6. That's why the zone is given here as C6, so that you can locate that particular revision and see the description here. So this was revision table. So the next table we are going to see here is weld table. So for weld table, I have taken one Weldments part here, you can see, and we are going to weld two gussets here on these two opposite corners, first one and the second one. So to put up the weld, we are going to use the command weld bit from Weldments tab. So here weld bit is given. I'll select the weld bit tab. Then you need to select the type of weld selection. There are two ways for giving the weld bit. First one is to apply weld bit by using two faces, that is two adjacent faces. I'll say this face and this face. So the between edge will be welded as we select both the adjacent faces here. So you can go by this method also, or else one more method is given, that is weld path. I'll select weld path option here, and you need to click on the edges you want to weld. So I'll select these edges here. So in both ways you can weld. First way is to select two adjacent faces and the common edge between the two faces will be welded. And the second one is directly by selecting the weld path option and then selection of edges required. So after putting the selection, you need to select the size of the weld. It will be in a radius size. So I'll say 5 mm radius. Next I'm going to define the symbol. So I'll select this define weld symbol option here. And here you can see the size has been given. I'll select the weld type and here I'll select fillet weld. Next is if you want to provide the finish for that particular weld, you can also say counter. You can go for these options here. First one is none, second is flat, third is convex shape or concave shape. So I'll select the flat one option here, then select the weld option, then go for the weld length. So whatever length you are going to weld there, you have to put up that length. I'll say 30 mm here. After putting up all these value and type of counter you required for the finish, say it OK. I select the weld bit option, go for weld path and select the required weld edges. So I'll select both the edges here, put up the value, define the required symbol for the weld and select the counter as flat. Whatever you want to select, you can go for that. I'm selecting flat and here I'll put up the symbol as fillet weld. Say it OK. Same we are going to go for this option also. This time I'll say use the first method. We are going to put up the weld here also on the opposite gusset. So for that select the weld width and here we will select the first option this time. So you need to select two adjacent faces here and the common edge will be welded. Put up the value, select the symbol required here. I'll select fillet weld only. Next put up the counter or finish and put up the length you want to weld. I'll say 35 this time. Say it OK. Now this length is nothing but this edge length. So I've taken that length as 35. One more option is given here, that is from length to length. Means if you want to provide only the particular length of that weld, so you can use this option. So I'll say to start it from 0 and I want this length to be completed till 15 mm only. So the weld will start from 0 till 15 mm. Next the option is given here is intermittent welding. If I select that intermittent weld, you can see here, you can provide the weld by providing a gap also in between the welds. You just need to put up the weld length, that is 1.25, this length, and the other one is gap. So I'll select this gap as 0.5 only. I'll select this gap as 1.5. So here intermittent weld has been provided here, you can see. Same on the other side, so I'll select again this weld bit option. Select the two adjacent faces. Define the symbol, fillet, and then put up the length. It was 25, actually we have taken 35 earlier, and put up the length. Also you need to put up the finish if you want. I'll say it flat, say it OK. Then after putting up the symbol and values, we'll click on this OK option. So here I have provided weld for the both gussets. Now if you want to show that weld bit, you can go in this show hide items and put on this option here, weld bit option, view weld bits. So here the weld will be shown, you can see here. Here it was intermittent welding, here it was continuous weld. On the other end also, here this gusset was welded by the fillet of 5 mm. Now by this part I'll go for drafting. Select the file option, say make drawing from part. Select this A3 size or you can browse if you are having any template ready made here. I'll select this template and say OK here. Now we'll call the front view first and then it will present the top view Here it will show the isometric view also. Select the tables option here, and here you can see different types of table given. So I'll select this weld table. Here one more option regarding weld is given, that is Weldment cut list table. This is totally different table we have not seen yet. We are going to see it further. Now we are seeing that is weld table. So don't make confusion between these two words. This is weld table, which will highlight only the welds which we have put for the gussets. So I'll select this weld table here. You need to select the view and then say it OK. So here you can see one table has been appeared. I'll change the layer for that particular table. I'll select that table and say predefine. So for this particular weldment structure, we have provided 4 welds. So you can see the quantity here. First, then second, then third and fourth are both combined in single. That's why both the welds are being shown in single row here. So you can see in this table we have item number, weld size, type of symbol representing the type of weld, also the weld length we have provided. So the total weld length is also been provided here. So in this way you can provide the weld table. The another way to show this welding here is select that particular view. I will delete this unwanted views here. Now one more method is given to show up the welds here. For showing the welds automatically, we are going to go for this model items here. This option is also used to show the dimensions which we can provide automatically. So you need to select the source. So I'll select entire model here. Then instead of showing dimensions, I'll put off this option and go for this weld option. I'll select this weld symbols. I'll also say to show the caterpillar symbol here, and then I'll select this weld symbol or end treatment symbol. All these 3 symbols are needed to be selected and then say OK. So what we have done here, that is in source we have selected entire model, put off the auto dimensions option and then select these 3 symbols to show the particular welds. Say it OK, and now you can see all these welds have been provided. Say it OK again, and now you can relate the symbols with the table data. If you want to provide weld material, you can also provide the weld material here. So this was weld table. So the next type of table we are going to see here is bend table. For that, first I'll say flatten to this part, and after saying flatten, we are going to go for drafting. And in drafting we are also going to see punch table, in which we are going to show this forming tools been applied here, the location of that particular forming tool and the orientation. So to start with, I'll take this file to drafting, make drawing from part, select the required paper size or template size, say it OK. And next I'm going to call here this flatten view, and we also take this side view of the flatten view, say it OK. After calling this flatten view, you just need to say scale as 1:1. As usually flatten views are being taken in 1:1 scale only, because they are going to go for laser cutting drawing also. That's why we are taking this scale here as 1:1. And for laser cutting drawing, I need to convert this drafting file to AutoCAD file so as to give it for laser cutting. Any part that is being transferred in AutoCAD should be transferred by a drawing, and it should be in scale as 1:1. We also need Weldment's file there for the laser cutting. At that time also, from drafting to AutoCAD conversion, the scale should be 1:1. After taking the flatten view, I'll select the tables option here. And in table, I'll select this bend table, select the required view. Now I'll change the layer of the table, select the table, and you have to change the layer here. I'll say as per standard. So now it is looking bright in color, that is in black color properly. So after that, applying the table, you can see the orientation or direction is being shown, as well as angle and inner radius are being shown. So for the direction, it is showing as downside. I'll select the view and say this view as flip view. So as soon as I say the view to flip side, now it is showing all the directions at upwards. Means all the bends are being made at the upper side with the angle of 90 degree and inner radius of 1.2. All the tags are being given A, B, C, D, and that tags are being applied to the bending lines here. The center lines or faint lines are nothing but the bending lines on which the initials are being applied. You can also show the thickness here for the flatten view. This was the bend table been given here. Same is the punch table, and punch table is only used when there are forming tools been applied. So I'll select this punch table, select the origin, take this as the origin reference, and select the face on which the forming tool is been applied. I'll select this face. and then say it OK. So this punch table has been applied. I'll select as per standard, say it OK. And now you can see both the tables are been applied. This table is showing the bending and angles as well as radius, and this table will show the forming tool locations as well as the angle of orientation. It will also show the quantity here, but some of these tags are being shown in faint color. For that I'll select all the view and change the layer to as per standard. Now everything will be shown in bright and black colors so as to recognize each and every punch. This was bend table and punch table being shown. So now we have seen in tables, general table, revision table, weld table, bend table, punch table. Now we are going to see hole table. For that I am going to call one part which is having multiple holes. So I'll take this part here. I'll take this part for drafting. Select the properties here, browse, say 4DI template and open. Apply changes. So now we are going to call the views for hole table. I'll select this view tab, select the front view, and with reference to front view I'm going to take this top view also here. Click here and you have to put the scale here as 1:1. After keeping the scale as 1:1, we are going to call the table, select the table as whole table, and you need to put the origin reference. So I'll take this point as an origin. It will locate the holes, that's why we are going to put the origin reference here, and you need to show the faces on which the holes are been contained or to be shown in table. So I'll select this face and say it OK. Say it OK again, and now you can see one table has been appeared showing the holes here. So this was whole table. This was whole table. It will show all the standard cutouts been taken here with the location as well as the size. So now more two tables are been remaining here, that is bill of material and Weldment cut list table. To understand bill of material and Weldment cut list table, we are going to continue in next lecture. Till then, thank you.